So once again, go to minty.com. Tell us what you think. The code is 1377041. And the question of the day, how much will the US election affect crypto? Is it 10%? Is it 20%? Is it 40%? Or is it 80%? So how much of an impact do you think the US election will have towards the entire crypto market? Bill, what's your take on this?
Okay, I'm going with 40%. Okay, and I'm not going with a big number. That may sound like a big number, but I think it's actually reasonable. And I think crypto can potentially benefit if the United States of America becomes any more of a circus than it already is. Okay. So bad for the US could be good for crypto. Okay. I do think that if there is some sort of event where, basically the Fed can't help. That's one thing about the election you have to remember is the Fed is like, they came out, they had their meeting. They're like, okay, guys, it's the election. We'll see you in March. If the Fed can't save everybody, that's the 40% that could impact crypto if something weird happens. Yeah. So I, along with everyone else in crypto, are dreaming about the day where people see crypto as the future. Things are so weird now that could actually happen. So it's not a 40% chance of something negative happening to crypto. I think there's also a 40% chance of something positive happening. So it's not all bad. The news might be bad, but it may not be all bad for crypto.
Yeah, I agree. Now, I think maybe we could have also maybe even added about the stimulus package, right? Because I think if that does get issued, I think it's definitely bullish for crypto as a whole. But yeah, I think I'd probably agree with you and say 40%, because that kind of seems like just about right, because I don't want to get too... I think going to 80% is probably overkill, because crypto has always had its own way of bouncing back, right? So I don't think the election, even it might affect it short term, but I think long term, over time, crypto will bounce back. But yeah, I mean, so let's go to what our audience has to say. So question of the day, how much will the US election affect crypto? And the audience agrees with Bill. Pretty much they think 40%, but very interesting. Runner up, number 2 is 80%. So a lot of people think that pretty much what will happen with the US election will affect the entire global crypto market. Very interesting. Then we have 20%, then 10%. So pretty much our audience is leaning heavily towards the US election having a big impact on that. Any thoughts on that, on people thinking 80%?
Well, sure. I mean, when you have a presidential candidate come out and say, we're not going to be friendly to corporate taxation, I mean, check some of the stocks of some of the big companies that are impacted by that. Katy Perry on Instagram attacking Facebook for hate speech.
What happened with that? I totally missed that one.
Katy Perry and certain sort of pop culture superstars are using their Instagram feeds to pressure or try to get their users to sort of punish or stop using Facebook, claiming that Facebook is taking money from political organizations as advertisements and allowing speech that they don't agree with. Mm-hmm. Okay. So people, when they say 80%, they're seeing this election angst and all this anger spread out, and they're connecting that with all the red ink on their screen. Because let's face it, if you go back and watch our video from 2 months ago, right, we're like, hey, DeFi's here, crypto has a yield curve, the future is now, let's go. And then all of a sudden, it's red ink everywhere. So I don't blame our audience for trying to connect the dots and try to say, okay, yeah, everybody is selling because fill in the blank related to the election, right? It's the only thing that's really changed.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, so tell us what you think down in the comments below.